Hi everybody, Catfish Jones here, right here, to be most precise. And I wanted to make a video for you today, which is a paint peel in the ASMR style. A paint peel, to me, is how I resolve the excess paint on my palette when I think it's had enough and ready for a fresh, new look at the world. I like to peel off the old layer and have a fresh palette to work with. And that old layer I do not discard with. I prefer to dispose of it on another painting to add thickness, line, and texture to a very ordinary, otherwise piece. These are the previous chips. I like to call them chips because they're kind of like chips of paint. It's solidified plastic. It's hard. It's thick. Not always easiest to get into. It's a very interesting thing. I like to use these chips in paintings. Some of them, you can tell there's just a texture to them that adds in a painting a very interesting quality. And I like to kind of cut them up into pieces and place them about on a painting so it shines this way and grows that way, and you can really see the movement of everything move. This is the last paint peel I did. It was a great video. I really enjoyed sharing it with you. And I promised myself to do another video in the same style when my palette was once again full. And this is pretty full. I was able to get a very full peel on this one. You can see the palette is plastic, so it peels well with acrylic paint. And it has these little cups for individual colors and a central mixing cup, which helps. This is the underside of that last paint peel right here, which is gorgeous in its own layers of colors. And how it bends and moves, it was really a great piece. And the front of it has some great textures. All of this stuff, the way that it crinkles and rolls. I do enjoy, and this will make parts for a very fine painting. And I don't know if I'll just cut it into long strips and let the individual bumps and hollows shine through, or if I'll cut out this flat part and these rings, these flat parts and these cups, and make everything separate. I'm not sure how exactly we will do that. But for today, I wanted to peel this palette. Let me get in here really close and show you what I'm working with. Like I said, it's all small cups, and the paint has been cupped in here. You can see a good side view of the texture of that. So once it's been peeled, these big globules will really shine through, and you can see kind of a truism of how I paint, where I use mostly primary colors and then blend them to the colors I would like to use. I don't use a lot of black, so when I do, there's a little bit left over. Red is such a strong color, and most of the paintings I've been doing recently are tiny. So I haven't been using a lot of red. I'm going to come around the edge of this whole thing with just kind of a fingernail. And that should kind of break loose a little bit of this. And I'm going to lose some of this. But it's okay. The goal is just to break the paint free a little bit. And I'm not sure where I'm going to start the peel. But it looks like this one's a bit overdue. And that means the peel will be very satisfactory, I believe. If not completely satisfying. We've made it around once. I think I'm going to start right here with the red and just start a peel. Let's see how it's kind of staying on there. I don't want to sully my edges too sharply. Oh yeah, see how that goes. Now I'm not trying to unseat the whole thing. I just want to get these edges started here and move it into the next section. Oh yeah, that's really good. And I think that's going to pull off very thoroughly in a nice connected peel. Oh, it's going to be great. Where'd we start? We start with the red. There we go. Just kind of working around the perimeter of this. Oh, there we go. It's a good green. I remember that green painting of the tree. Oh, just a remarkable little mixture here. I don't think the ring around the edge is as strong on this one as it was on this previous paint peel. Some of these pieces are just going to come all the way off, and it's okay. We'll let them. Here's a big section right here that will give us some strength and stability for this edge. If I could just kind of get it up a little bit. Peel it. Work around the edge. There we go. There we go. And you can kind of see when it gets time to peel. It's going to be majestic. A fantastic thing to just appreciate. On one sense, the melding of these two things. These two different plastics. and all that plastics represent. This wonder invention is going to change our lives. Look at that beautiful green under here. Can you see that kind of green hiding underneath this yellow? Oh, just fantastic. Just fantastic. I'm not trying to cheat too much and get too much of this edge up and about. But the goal is to work all the way around once. And I'm about halfway there with all of these edges just kind of being up here. And itself is kind of a nice little thing. And I like to kind of get these little edges going. There we go, into a flat part. Or I can work. And I think about these paint peels while painting. I wonder how this glob of paint is going to come off. I wonder how this will mix with the layer underneath. But I never overthink it, I believe. I try to concentrate on the work at hand. Both the individual piece, that work that I'm working on, and also the craft that I'm doing. Dual usage of the word, if you don't mind. And I don't know how this is going to work. It seems like this is maybe the best angle. There's some really good knobbies and gnarls on this palette, which let you kind of clean a brush off as you're going and not... Now, it gives you some good control, and that's one of the things I really like. It control through versatility. Gives you options when you're painting, which is to say nothing against old Mark Von Jones, who prefers paint strata maybe an inch or so thick, heck, maybe 2 inches. What do you say, Mark? How thick is your tallest palette? Sometimes you jab them with a knife to get a bit of a core sample. How deep does that knife go before it touches wood on your deepest palette, would you say? Go ahead and leave a comment below. Or mention it to me the next time I see you in one of your regular evening 7:30 Central Time live painting videos. Free plug on the Catfish ASMR paint peel. So you see I've made it around once. And I'm in a good spot to kind of work this edge up a little bit. I'm going to switch to this angle here. Now that it's really up and coming, I can... The goal is to just... There's a thin patch. I don't want to lose it. The goal is to get everything started and to follow in behind and get a really good peel away from these little cups. These cups make great chips. And no, you don't eat the chips. I don't think this would harm you, as it may have our friend Salvador and perhaps the others. The sound of that itself, just the plastic on plastic, the stretching and the pulling. You kind of see how that's going? Getting real close here. Can really kind of see that pull away. And don't want to give too much away, but when we get in close, we're going to do it, as my friend Wayne would say, extreme close-up. Isn't that right, Garth? Extreme close-up. Ah, there we go. What fun this is, and what a silly way to spend an afternoon. But I love it, and I'm glad you guys got to join me. I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come over to my world and see what's happening. I think we might be on our second lap. And the key here is to not push anything too far. It's going to tell you what it thinks is okay to move. The goal here should just be to peel a little bit at a time, and then move next door and peel the cup next door. Some of these are pretty full. Some of them were very thin and might tear, and I really do not want to tear these cups. A tear is kind of a symbol that no, it was not done yet. Or that when painting, the paint was not applied to the cups evenly. Oh, there we go. That's the red. And that's where I started. So you can kind of see right now where we're at. With all of this right here. This is going to be a bit of a pain. You can see it's trying to leave itself in there a little bit. So we'll just peel a little bit at a time. And it'll just peel and it'll be fine. Ooh, I felt a rip. This might be the spot where I have to finish on. So I'm going to start up here. And just try to... Okay, we're down to the middle cup here. So let's try to work around it from this direction. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's wanting to. I can feel it. It's just kind of stuck a little bit. Oh, look at that go. Now the rest of this will it'll just have to. Okay. Some great dark colors in here. I think this needs another angle where I give it a little growl. Yeah, it's a bit. Okay. All in all, we have a very good peel going. I don't want to minimize how great this is so far. Oh, there we go. It just is a little sticky in these couple of places. And I don't know if it's a lack of surfactant in the mix. There we go. Making it a little stickier. Oh, there we are. And these right here will pop right up. And now it's time for the really fun part, because this always comes together very succinctly, one might say. Oh, do you see it? Do you see it coming? Oh, here it comes. Oh, there it goes. And we're making our way around. And I'm just kind of pulling a little bit, pulling away. What do we have here? Oh, just fantastic. Some of these ridges, oh, just majestic. Like little mountains. You can see all of the little shapes. Oh, This is going to make a very fine texture. And some of these colors will show through, and they will live again. And the backside, oh, look at that gorgeous green. This is definitely where the green painting started. Fantastic. And now, this can join its brothers and sisters and cousins and wonderful internet family in the storage bin. I'm going to flip this over because this seems like maybe it wants to stick to itself and its neighbors. And maybe I'll just have it down like that for the time being. This has been Catfish Jones for a paint peel from my plastic palette in an ASMR style. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate you stopping by, checking out my paintings and my songs. If you would like a sticker, why just email catfish@catfish-jones.com. Thank you. Cheers.